Okay, on the warm-up, I'm just going to go ahead and graph it. Just remember, you're adding your x's together and your y's together to get your new set. Okay, so you're going to find m prime, a prime, t prime, and h prime. So I'm going to do that first. Okay, so this should be your x's added together, your y's added together, your new set of points, and then I'm going to go ahead and graph them. Okay, so your image should look like that. Make sure you label. Make sure you label with primes. Oop. Okay, so that was translations. Now we're going to do reflections, so reflecting over certain lines. So reflection is just going to be its mirror image. So hopefully yours looks way better than that. Okay, so we're mirroring off of an image. All right, so we're going to do the x-axis, y-axis, y equals x, and y equals negative x, but you can do it through any line as long as you're reflecting over that line, so it should be equidistant from both sides of the line. So unique relationships present themselves as you reflect over these lines, and we will look at all four. So first we're going to graph the original. So right 5 up 4, right 3 down 7, left 4 down 1. Okay, so the y-axis. If I'm reflecting over the y-axis, I'm going to change colors here. This is my y, so I'm going to mirror everything away. Okay, so if I look at h, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lines away. So I'm going to go 5 lines away on the other side of my y. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that's going to be my h prime. I'll show you guys shortcuts to this once we get through just looking at them. Okay, if I look at g, it's 1, 2, 3, 4 away. 1, 2, 3, 4. G prime. My u is 1, 2, 3 away, so I go 1, 2, 3 away. That is what it looks like if it would reflect over your y. Okay, now in your next graph, we're going to reflect it over the x. Okay, so here's my x-axis. So I'm 1, 2, 3, 4 away, so I go 1, 2, 3, 4 away. H prime. I'm 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 away, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. U prime. 1 away, 1 away. G prime. There's how it looks if you reflected him over your y. The mirror image, or reflected him over your x, that's your mirror image. Okay, your next graph, we're going to do the y equals x line. So if you think about y equals x as a graphing equation, it's really plus 0. Your y-intercept is here, and your slope, if we make it a fraction, is 1 over 1. So right 1 up 1, right 1 up 1. So we're mirroring our image off this line. So technically it can mirror it off of any line. Okay, so as long as I represent that line and go the same distance away on the opposite side, I should be good. So if I mirror them across, H will be right here. G looks like it's 1.5 away, so I'm going to go 1/2 and 1. So G prime. Okay, U is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. U prime. So that's me mirroring over my y equals x blue line. Okay, we could also mirror off y equals negative x, which is the same thing, but with a negative slope. So now I'm going to go do that. Okay, so I'm going to mirror off this line. Y equals negative x. All right, so G is 1, 2, and 1/2, so 1/2, 1, 2. G prime. H is 1, 2, 3, 4 and a half, 1, 2, 3, 4, H prime, and U is 1, 2, 1, 2, U prime. And I'm going to erase some of these dots so it's a little less confusing. So that is my mirror off y equals negative x equation. All right, so my shortcut. Let's say we pick a point. So I'm going to pick, let's say, 1, negative 2. So our shortcut is you flip the opposite sign of what the negative is attached to. So my y sign, if it's negative, it goes to positive. If it's positive, it goes to negative. So my new point will be 1, 2. So I'm going to use this point for all of these. So my next one, I flip my x value. My x value is the only thing that flips. So now it's a negative 1. My y value stays normal. Okay, this one, my x and y flipped where they are in relation to each other. So I flip where they are in relation to each other. Okay, my y equals negative x-axis, it's a double flip. You flip the sign, and you flip where they are in relation to each other. So I flip my signs, and then I flipped where they are in relation to each other. It's a two-step process. Okay, so my first one, it's y-axis. So if I look at my y-axis, I am doing negative x comma y. So I'm going through and I'm flipping all of my x values. And then I'm graphing them as my primes. So right 8, up 4, right 8, up 1, 2, 3, 4, w prime. Okay, now it's positive 1, 6. So right 1, up 6, y prime. Positive 4, negative 2, so right 4, down 2, x prime. 0, negative 3, so I don't go left to right, but I go down 3, and that's my z prime. Okay, I'm going to show you what it looks like in relation to its original to show you that it went off of your y-axis. So I'm going to graph your original for you real quick. Okay, so go ahead and graph your original. You can see that mirror across your y-axis. Okay, next one. Graph your original on your next two. So I'm going to do that first, and then we will do their translation. So go ahead and graph your original and pause the video. All right, so your original set should look something like this. So pause the video, check your answers. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and move on. So this one says x-axis. So x-axis is x comma negative y. So I'm going to go through, I'm going to flip all my y values, and then I'm going to graph them. So negative 2, negative 6. And that's a prime. Remember, these change to primes. 6, negative 1. C prime. 7, negative 6. B prime. And 2, negative 2. D prime. So you can see how it's reflected off that x-axis. Okay, the next one is y equals x. So I need to do a flip of my order. So I'm going to have to rewrite them this time. So now I've got 4, negative 9, negative 4, negative 5, 1, negative 1. So right 4, down 9 is P prime, right 4, down 5, I prime, right 1, down 1. Had my I in the wrong spot. Okay, so here is this, what it should look like. And remember, y equals x line that we're mirroring off of is that line right there. Oops, this is G. Sorry. All right, so go ahead and graph all your originals. I'm going to go ahead and just do 4 and 5, and I'm going to leave 6 for you to do, and you can check in class if you need to, but I'm just going to do 4 and 5. So go ahead and graph your originals for 4 and 5. All right, so your original sets should look like this. Okay, this next one, it says y equals negative x-axis, so negative y comma negative x. So I'm going to go through and flip all my signs first, so when I do my other flip, it makes it way easier and I don't leave off negatives. Okay, so now I know A prime is going to be negative 6, 1. So negative 6, 1. Okay, I know U prime is going to be negative 5, negative 9. I know E prime is going to be negative, nope, it is positive 4, negative 2. Okay, C prime is going to be negative 8, negative 3. And then T prime is positive 2, negative 7. So there's my mirror across that y equals negative x axis. Okay, y-axis, remember, is this one, so that's what we're going to mirror off of. Okay, so his shortcut is negative xy. So I'm going to go through and flip all of my x values. So my next one is 7, 0, so x prime, then positive 3, negative 4, z prime, negative 1, positive 8, y prime. And you can see it mirroring off that y-axis.